All right, welcome to episode 8 of the Racing Group podcast. Today, joined by Chad Freeman. And later it would be Paul Rigda for his interview. So, Chad, last Saturday was the Whittemore Speedway Slush Slinger. How did you feel about that?
I was pretty excited for it. I was pretty excited to get back into the car. You know, everybody waits the whole off season for that first race, and I mean, it was an enduro, but it was still a race. You know, we all got to race. We all got to see each other. That was nice. Pretty much a tease for the real race season. So I was pretty excited, and I had fun.
I did too. I actually, besides the drive, I was not looking forward to the drive there and the drive back, but all in all, it was a great time.
How far of a drive was it for you?
From Birch Run all the way to Whittemore, that was hour 14 minutes.
Oh, alright.
It wasn't that bad, but my car doesn't have music, so it was kind of a silent ride.
Right.
Yeah, the radio doesn't work on my car. I still need to get that fixed after having the car for like a year.
Right.
Yeah, a year and a half actually. But anyway, all in all, how did your race go?
Well, I had the incentive to be patient. You know, it's 90 minutes. You ain't gonna win it in the first 10 laps. And so my strategy was to just do me, stay out of trouble. And there was a lot of trouble involved in the whole 90-minute course. There was a lot of cars that got junked. It was wild. I had a car roll over in front of me, and after I watched the video, apparently I hit him.
Yep.
It was crazy, and I had my passenger with me, and when that car rolled in front of me, I looked at her and I said, "This is exactly why we're going the speed that we are on the bottom too, because everybody was on the top side and they're racing really hard and they're beating and banging and they're sliding all over and they're getting wrecked." That's the stuff that you don't want to do in an enduro. I mean, the point of the enduro is to do as many laps as possible, but you got to be able to finish the enduro. So that was my whole goal, was to finish the enduro, and I was one of 4 front-wheel drives to finish. And while we're still waiting for results, yes, I don't understand that, but apparently we came out 6th or 7th.
That's pretty good.
And the car's almost untouched. I got to put a back bumper on it, and then that's it. So made it 90 minutes. Was out of there safe. Car's still perfect, and made it in the money. So couldn't ask for a better day. Honestly, it was nice. The place was packed. I was actually shocked. I didn't know how the turnout was going to be, because I know Whittemore Speedway very well. So I know like the average, what the stands looks like, and I was very shocked. That was a good turnout for cars, the pits, stands, everything. It was actually a really good showing for the people. I'm glad, that it shows how much short track racing in our local area is evolving. Is when you get people like that come out to an enduro, that's all it was one 90-minute enduro, and it filled the stands and it filled the pits, And I think COVID has a big deal with that, because people want to get out of the house, and any little chance we can get to do something like this, I think everybody, they jump on board. So
plus, with it being cold outside, it was a really big deal as well.
Right, yeah, because when you make a show like that, like they did, and they made it, and they said, this enduro is going to be March 6th. It's going to be the Slush Slinger. You got to think about it, because this is Michigan.
Yep.
Michigan, they're dumped 2 foot of snow on you, or it could be 50 degrees. And I think we were fortunate enough to have 38 degrees, probably, or 34 degrees.
Somewhere around there.
Sunny. So. And I mean, I know that they had to add snow to the track to make it anything, because it was dry.
Yeah, I saw turn 3, like midway through the race or at the end, it was starting to dry up on the high side.
Yeah.
So,
at the end, people.
what was that?
People were cruising at the end. They were flying by me, and I just stayed out of everybody's way. I wanted to just finish the 90 minutes, and because you got to think about it, 13 cars finished, cars, trucks, whatever. 13 finished out of like 40. So that's a lot of cars that didn't finish. So that's, and I mean, something probably happened to where they couldn't control it, or that wasn't their strategy to wait, be patient. They probably just wanted to actually just go out there and race, and it works out either way. I mean, you're either wrecked or you're finishing, and there was a little bit of controversy on who won.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think because when I didn't even pull off the track, so I get out of the car and I see that the car that won, he was doing donuts, and then and then I get into the pits, and then everybody's all fighting and they're arguing, and apparently someone else won, and I don't know. I stayed out of it because this year the goal is to be drama free, so that's the goal. Just do me and my group, and have the most fun year that we could possibly have. You know what I mean?
And you most likely got a top 10 at the end of the day, so that's pretty good out of 40 cars.
Yeah, I very fortunate, and I had a girl, my boss's girlfriend. She wanted to ride with me, so she rode with me, and she didn't get scared or nothing. I'm shocked. I'm proud of her. She took some videos out there. She definitely enjoyed the experience, that's for sure, because she's getting ready to race this year. So when she wanted to ride with me, it was like, that's good, like what to expect, sort of, when you're in a real race situation, you know what I mean?
Yep. I want to go back to track conditions as well, because at the start of the race, it looked pretty rough out there compared to the end of the race. Can you tell us about those conditions and how bad they were compared to the end of the race?
Yeah, the beginning of the race, it was good in some spots, and then it was really rough in some spots. I noticed that they put a large portion of snow on turn 4, so that was like, and then you get on straightaways, and then there'd be nothing. Yep. And then you go back in the corner, and then there was antifreeze like 10 laps in on turn 1, and it made the track very slick. The more the race went on, the more I seen the rear wheel drive kicker sideways. You know what I'm saying? Every time they tapped the gas, the more it would, it would kick sideways. And I think that was a big advantage for the front wheel drive. I know Mike Curry, he was in the lead for most of it. In my opinion, I think Mike Curry would have won it in the 84, the one that his hood came up.
Yeah.
And
I actually have him on screen right now.
Right, yeah, I'm friends with Mike, and his passenger was Jacob Watson, and I'm friends with both of them. And Jacob was trying to use his foot to push the hood down, and Mikey was trying to see under the hood, and the hood came up in front of me, and then I didn't even really see them after that. So
yeah, he pulled off because he got black flagged.
I heard he got black flagged, and I'm not a big fan of that. I don't think that there should be black flags in enduros.
Yeah.
It's 90 minutes to finish. That's the rule, and he had I heard about that. His hood came up. He went for 3 laps, and then they black flagged him. He went into the pit, fixed it, and then they wouldn't let him back out. And I'm curious on that too, because it's an enduro. People come off all the time, go back on all the time. So
isn't that what I'm sorry, but
he's black flagged. I mean, I don't understand why he wasn't able to come back out on the track.
I'm sorry, but hood comes up, gets black flagged, go in the pits, fix it. You can't come back out. Yet the winner of the race, the 42, comes in with a flat tire, fixes it, was able to come back out of the pits and win the race. I'm sorry, that's bad officiating.
That was your first time to Whittemore Speedway, wasn't it?
Yeah, and to be honest, I wasn't that impressed mostly because of the officiating. The facility is nice and all, but with the officiating, could use a lot of work.
Yeah. So the thing with Whittemore is there's a lot of politics at that speedway. And I'm not track bashing in any way, but they're club owned, so they have a group of people that make the decisions, and then there's a president, and that's who won it, was the president.
Oh.
And I don't see the whole club thing working. I think that because they're the only club ran racetrack I think in the United States. I mean, I could be wrong. I definitely know Michigan for sure, but I don't know, the things that they do there. It's confusing. It really is. I know that my exhaust fell off during their invitational last year.
Yeah.
And I got sued for that, and then they banned me for life for that.
Huh?
Cause for my exhaust falling off. They put me on probation, where if I get DQ'd, I'm banned. They put me on probation for posting a picture of a trash can with no comment, no caption, no nothing, just one trash can. And I got a year for that.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You get all that stuff happens because of an exhaust fell off your car, right? So apparently, what happened with JD, the 29 front wheel drive? Saw him, right? Orange number. He got wrecked by a drunk driver who was racing on track. And we have heard nothing about that from the Speedway ever since we found out. If he's banned for life, you know?
Right, yeah. I know who that they're thinking was doing the drinking.
It was, I believe, a black car with a blue stripe.
Yeah. I personally didn't see them drinking. I mean, I don't know. We don't really like associate at the racetrack. You know, I know them and like we talk sometimes, but I really just like they do them. You know, they got a big fan group, so they're always surrounded by a ton of people. So, but yeah, I that's what I think that we're waiting on the results for is because they're having a meeting, a club meeting over the drinking and driving
investigation.
I didn't even know until after the race. I'm like, really? Because apparently like that car was taking cars out, and it was clean, and I don't know.
I've heard that the driver of that car showed someone else his beer bottle, which I don't understand. I mean, obviously they're drunk, so I just don't understand.
Right. Yeah. Right. So that's what I would. If I could put a summary on the whole Whittemore Slush Slinger, I mean, I'd say it went 50-50. I think for the fans, I think like racing action wise, enduro wise, I think it went good. I think there was they put a good show on.
Yeah.
I think that like the racing itself was good. There was a rollover, a lot of crashing. You know, that's what fans like. That's what they like. You know, they don't go to enduro to watch 90 minutes of cruising around. They want to see action.
Yeah.
I think that fans, I think they got all of the action. I think everything else about it was a big downfall. I think that was Whittemore's chance to like really step up and put on a good show, and you know,
they did
some day at the end of the tunnel, and I think that it didn't go that way. I mean, I went to Facebook. I seen that Facebook was just blasted with bad stuff, like bad reviews, bad stuff about it.
Yeah.
Someone did a donut in the pits, and there was a woman walking with her infant. strapped to her chest and was slinging rocks. I heard. I don't know. I mean, there's so much that's Whittemore though. You know what I mean? Like that's the little politics that happens that no one really sees. I think that's why that's why a lot of Owasso boys they don't come. You know what I mean? Because they know the politics. You know, I think that just pushes them away. Because if you run for point at Whittemore, you maybe get one or two outsiders a year. You know what I mean? It's not very often. You race the exact same people every single week. You know what I mean?
Compared to Owasso, you get guys from basically all over.
Right, yeah. I mean, I know Owasso get a bunch of Whittemore cars. You know, I know my group alone tries to make 3 to 4 trips a year, if not more. I know that we bring some buddies, you know, like, and then I see people from other tracks like Springport, and I see that they have outlaw cars. You know, like Owasso gets a good variety of cars. So I wish they would go to a transponder system, but other than that, I really like that facility. You know.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the race. I don't think I have any more stuff to say about the race, other than that. Shoot, it was something about red flags. Oh yeah, red flag inconsistency.
Yeah, that's one I wasn't too thrilled about either.
Yeah.
The red flag.
They said that they're gonna bring the red flag out for dangerous racing conditions, yet you have cars on track that are facing the wrong way for multiple laps.
Right.
That's basically a hazardous racing condition. There should be a red flag. But no, a few laps later, we have a rollover. Paul Rigda was sitting backwards on track, and the car that rolled over got turned by another car, hit Paul Rigda the way that he did, and flipped over because of that.
Yeah, that happened right in front of me. It was unreal. I can't wait to watch his video and see what he says about it.
Dude, I'm excited.
I know that if he watches my video and he can hear my perspective of it, because I was the car behind them when that happened. And that blue car got pushed up into him, got squarely hit him, barrel rolled, and then I hit him. It was all surreal. The red flag, those were ridiculous. And in Enduro, there should never, ever be that many red flags. And they were all like 10 minutes long, and it wasn't, and I had to use the bathroom the whole time, so that's probably why I didn't like it. But I just think that overall there was way too many red flags, you know. The rollover, I see. Anything else, I really don't see, you know. Unless the driver door is exposed, like, literally on the track, I don't see that. I know one time that they called the caution, or they called the red flag, and the track crew, they went on the track 2 times, and they didn't do nothing. I mean, there was no reason to call it, and it took like 10 minutes, and they didn't pick our car up. They didn't, you know, and I'm just like watching them, and I'm just confused on this whole thing, and then we go back green. So I mean, it's confusing.
No, so the instance with Josh DeLong, turn 3, he was sent around, and then he was there for like at least 2 laps, I believe, and then got hit head on. Well, nearly got almost hit head on with another truck. I meant with a truck, and I'd say a half a lap later, he got hit head on by a front wheel drive car, which could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I seen like every lap, it seemed like there was more and more cars just piled up in the infield and the outside.
Turn 3.
That's where my strategy comes into play. It's just going nice and easy for 90 minutes, seeing where you end up, you know.
Yeah, do nothing crazy or spectacular. Just run the race, see where you end up at the end.
Yep. That was my strategy.
Alright, so have anything else to say about the Slush Slinger?
No. I hope that next year, I hope that it's more of an event, like you know how Owasso had that end of the year race last year. They did the flagpole. Yep. They did did a whole bunch. that's what I would like to see. I wouldn't like to just go there for a 90-minute enduro. I thank Whittemore for putting it on. You know, I got to see all my friends. Everybody's seen me. Everybody's seen their friends. You know, it was good times for everybody to come together as the racing family in March. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because you know, M40 they do enduros, but they're way downstate. They're by the border. So a track like, you know, Whittemore to put a show on like that, I like it. I mean, I hope that they do it again because it was very exciting.
Yeah.
That from what I hope that there's some adjustments for sure, like the red flags. You know, if there was drinking, then I don't support that while you're out there on the track.
Oh yeah, pit road rules as well, like seeing if you were able to go back out on track, because they were pretty inconsistent with that.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Curry, he had that race won. I mean, everybody knows it. And then he gets his hood comes up, and then he fixes it like anybody else would. And it ain't no different than a flat tire. I mean, my uncle, he had 3 flat tires, and he changed them, and he was able to go back out. I mean, I don't see why your hood coming up and you fixing it, why you aren't allowed to go back out on the track. I mean, exactly. I feel bad for Mikey because that's $1,500. That's a lot of money. You know, we don't even race for that every week. You know, so for that to happen to him, I feel bad for him. I definitely know he'll make up for it in the summertime because he wins a lot. So.
Oh, I totally forgot. At the beginning of the race, I had a feeling that someone was gonna flip. I felt bad for that man that flipped. That wasn't funny.
Who flipped?
So at the beginning of the race, right before the green flag, I had a feeling that someone's gonna flip. And I said it out loud. 10 minutes later, front stretch, turn 1.
That was crazy. That was probably the craziest thing I've seen since I started doing circle track.
I jinxed that.
It was in mid-air, all 4 tires off the
ground. That's like the 3rd flip that I jinxed in less than a year.
What was the other one? Josh Shaw?
Josh Shaw at Nationals. I jinxed that one. At Mav's Playground, I was joking on, oh, someone's gonna flip today, but it ended up being the 017 truck that flipped. Got hit by Josh Shaw.
Yeah, that guy's got some bad luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Saturday I jinxed whoever that was.
Right.
I need to keep my mouth shut. That's what I need to do.
Right.
Yeah. I can't wait for Paul to hear that one, see what he says.
Yeah, anyway, me too.
That's about it. I have to get ready for Paul's interview, so I'm gonna let you go.
If I could say one thing to the people that are watching this, Tri-City Motor Speedway is the place to be this summer. There's going to be some fast cars there, and there's going to be a lot of money on the line. So Tri-City is the place to be.
Well, I'll try to put that into consideration. I already made a schedule of what racetracks I'm going to be this year. I haven't put Tri-City on the list yet. I might as well try to.
Race on Friday night.
Friday nights? Ooh, I plan on doing Birch Run full time. Anyway, it's fun talking to you. Yes.
Thank you for having me on here again.
Alright, you're welcome. And Paul Rigda the Third is going to be up next. Alright, now I'm joined by Paul Rigda the Third. Sup, Paul?
What's going on?
Nothing much. Glad
to have the charm, right?
Yep. Glad to have you on here. First things first, how did your race go?
Yeah. You talking about the 12 laps I participated in going in a circle?
I mean,
or the other 10 laps that I sat against the wall? Or are you talking about the other time when I got my ass blown apart by a car getting flipped upside down?
All of them would be perfect.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah. I mean, it went good. I mean, yeah. I need to
More
get
like
a new rear end. I need to get a new box side. I need to get a new back bumper, drive shaft, drop shackles. I mean, I could just keep adding stuff on. But hey, it is what it is.
good seemed to be a little bit of an overstatement there from what you said, but
Well,
I'll
I mean,
take
it could have been worse.
it.
I mean, it could have been worse.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
I mean, it was not fun. And I don't really, I don't think it's the flagger, Nate. I don't think it's his fault at all. I got a lot of respect for Nate. He deals with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I was just put in a bad spot. At a bad spot at a bad time. And cars ain't stopping. I was bound to get hit, and that's what everybody's like. We should have backed up. And the thing about it is, when you're sitting up on a snowbank against the wall, you can only go back and forth so many times before you just sink in the snow. And that's what happened. You could see out in the video going back and forth, trying to get off the snow, but there wasn't no clearing. And I knew eventually I was going to get hit. I was just hoping that it was going to throw a red somewhere else so I could get drug off the track or get myself out of there. And when the car was coming and he hit me, I don't think it was his fault per se because they were going 3-4 wide coming down the straight. He hit me and just blew my rear end right out, ripped my backside off, and just stuff went crazy.
When I look at the video that I made, I was surprised that I got it while focusing on the backstretch. Seemed as if the car that flipped over got turned by another car that went
Yeah,
up.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't the guy who hit me, that number 3 car, that little car number 3.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was his fault at all. He got turned by another bigger car. I don't know exactly what car, but I know it was a bigger vehicle.
Yep.
That turned him into me. So that's why, even after the wreck, after that guy hit me, he came to my pit, after the payloader got me off the track, and he came to me and actually apologized to me and, said how sorry he was, but I'd tell him, it obviously wasn't his fault. A little car cannot go up against
a bigger vehicle,
a street stock or a truck or a van. Just weight to weight. A little car cannot push his way into a bigger car. So he got shoved into me, and once he flipped over, cars kept coming, and Danny Smith actually is the one that hit him. And obviously Danny's not trying to do it on purpose, but when you got ice and snow, you can't stop, and it's just shit happens.
Especially with the wet track surface as well. Danny Smith.
Well, you're right, exactly.
Yeah, Danny Smith was the one who ran into him while he was upside down.
Yeah, that was actually Danny. Yep, because but obviously, Danny's a nice guy, really, really good buddy of mine. But he'd be the last one to try to hit somebody when it's upside down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just one of them things. The people behind Danny just kept coming, and you can stop, but if you got cars pushing you, you can't hold them. You know what I mean? Just like that car, you can't hold a car. So.
How did you feel of the race overall?
Bullshit.
Yeah, me and Chad were talking about it. Poor officiating with the tracks full. I'm not going to go too deep into that.
What officiating?
I mean, if there is any.
There was. I didn't. Aside from when Nate was allowed to throw a red flag, aside from that, there wasn't no officiating. And like I said, I'm not bashing Nate at all. Nate's a buddy. We talk quite a bit. But when Nate is told not to throw a red flag, when he's trying to throw a red flag, that's just breeding chaos.
And that's what exactly happened while the track was saying, oh, we want an enduro race, not a derby, yet they created a derby of their own. I just don't get it.
Well, what they say they want and what they actually want, people want chaos and destruction, but they don't want to admit it. they know if there's a bunch of chaos and destruction, people will come back and watch that because people want to see stuff get smashed and destroyed. Now, people don't want to see people get hurt, but they want to see cars get tore up. They want to see cars with tires hanging off, or like my truck, the rear end ripped out, the box side all crushed up, or Josh's car get punted a bunch of times and smashed in the infield. And, you know, people like to see chaos and destruction, but they say they don't want to have a demolition derby, but it's exactly what they wanted, and they got exactly what they wanted. But that's just my opinion. I personally thought it was going to turn out differently, not only just for me, but as a whole for the track. And it did not. You know, it was. I thought it would have been a lot cleaner racing, but you know, going out of town to a different track, you know, you never know what to expect. But
yeah,
what I do know for sure is all of the out of town guys, whether it was me, Danny, Josh, Darby, JD, Tim, or Zach, every one of us got hit or taken out. I got taken out. JD got taken out. Josh got taken out. Todd, actually, his motor blew up, so I guess his doesn't count. Zach got hit a couple times. He actually spun around, you know, 3/4 way through the race, and he got spun around, hitting the wall, and kept going. Luckily for him, it was a clear track by then.
Yeah.
You know, so Darby got hit a couple times. So, and I don't know, it's just, if that's what it's going to be, well then don't call it an enduro race and we're going to keep it clean, because that's not what it is.
Exactly. Yeah, I was keeping score on that very same thing throughout the race. I was like, yeah, all the ones that I mainly associate with are taken out.
Yeah. You know, and I'm not saying that I had a good chance of winning, but I thought I had a pretty fast truck going into it. You know, I know how my truck is. I know how it handles.
Yeah.
And I stayed clean until I got hit and spun around, and there just wasn't an opportunity for me to come back around on the track. You know, there was, at the time that I was spun around up into the wall facing traffic, there was, I think, 36 cars still left on that track. There was not any spot for me to even, you know, turn back and get straight and right back around. There wasn't a gap available, and I wasn't going to turn into traffic because I knew it'd be driver's door to oncoming traffic, and I knew I was safer where I was at than turning into traffic because I would have got hit and it would have hurt. I was just hoping for a red flag somewhere else. Whether they would have got me off the track, okay, fine, you know, at least I didn't have a wrecked truck. Or if somebody else spun out and they threw a red flag, I would have been able to turn around, you know, something. But they weren't having it. So I had to sit there till I got taken out.
And one update with the interview with Chad Freeman. Apparently the drunk driver, again with the one that involved with JD 29. He was found, I guess, not guilty, but there was no proof that he was drunk driving on the track. So I guess that's how it is for the track.
What number car was that? Do you remember?
I'm assuming it was a black car. I don't know the number. I'm assuming it's a black car. Actually, I think JD would know. I might have to get with JD and see what car that was.
Okay.
Was the one with the blue stripe Danny?
No. No,
Okay.
Danny was driving Rod Nettleton's car, the number 33X or X33, something like that.
Okay, so I'm still gonna assume it was the black car with the blue stripe going down the side.
Okay, yeah, I don't even remember, to be honest.
Alright.
I didn't really even want to watch the video because I didn't want to watch my shit get tore up again. I already see the destruction I gotta take care of. I mean, as bad as it is, my truck looks like it's junk. But
That's why I thought.
it's
That's why I thought it was after the wreck.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, luckily got it back in the pit. They tried to load on a trailer. I had to get away for a minute. Clear my head, and I mean, it rocked my neck pretty hard. It gave me a little sore neck for a while. But yeah, I kind of stepped away from it a little bit, and then I came back to it, and I was looking at it. What had happened is when he hit me, when that car hit me, he actually hit me with his passenger side front fender and tire, hit it in the passenger door. So he caved in my passenger door, caved in that B pillar, buckled the whole cab over, shifted the cab on the frame, caved in the box side so hard that my box side actually folded all the way in to the inner box side, so it shoved it in 6, 8, 10 inches. And then he hit my back tire, and when he did that, he had so much force that it actually broke the center bolt holding the spring, like the leaf springs holding the pack together.
Yep.
And it bent all of the U-bolts holding the rear end up to the leaf spring. So it pushed all that, folded it all back, folded down my rear drop shackles, wadded the spring, the axle around that, ripped the drive shaft out of the transmission, broke my passenger axle, smashed my ripped the shock mount off of the axle, and shoved my rear axle all the way back to my back bumper. When he hit me, the force of it smashed me back into the wall so hard it caved in my whole my driver's side box, and there's chunks of the Whittemore track wall smashed into my tailgate and back bumper on my driver's side is how hard he hit me.
Jeez.
So after that, then they told me to leave my truck on the track, which wasn't going to happen. So that kind of turned into a little bit of an argument, but,
Yep.
It is what it is. So, I'm like, if I was in the grass, infield, out of field, okay, fine. I'll leave it there. Great. But I'm not going to leave my truck in the middle of the straightaway, completely sideways. It won't even go into park. It won't go into gear. The drive shaft's not even together. The rear end's not even inside the vehicle anymore. If I was in the grass, in the middle of the track, okay, it is what it is. But I'm not about to leave my truck in the middle of the track, all ripped apart. You know what I'm saying? It's already destroyed. Just
At that
either push
point,
me off, either drag me to the pits or push it into the infield. Fine, leave it there. Okay, great. So they got me they pulled me back to the pit, and so I had to loosen up the axle bolts, the U-bolts, loosen up those all the way, and take a hammer and pound those out. Luckily, I had a hammer with me. Pound those out, and then I took a ratchet strap and wrapped it around the rear end, and hooked it up front at like the training mount, that cross member bar. Wrapped it from there, and I actually took the drive shaft out, ratchet strapped the axle back to where it should be, and put the drive shaft back in, folded the box side down, and drove it in my trailer. So, there's a lot of stuff to fix, but it could have been worse. The frame is still straight. I'm pretty sure I haven't looked at it yet. The frame is still straight, but it needs everything else. It needs a door. It needs part of the cab pulled back out, a whole entire box, a whole entire rear end, a whole entire axle pack kit, a whole back bumper, a whole back tailgate. So there's a lot of stuff it needs, but it could have been worse.
You think you're gonna get that back up and running by May?
No, probably not by May. Probably by like next week.
Oh, okay.
I ain't getting rid of that truck.
All right. So
all you gotta do, everything takes work. It's either build a whole new truck or just fix this one. So, put a new rear end under it, put a new box on it, and a new axle spring. So, yeah, I ain't giving up on it now. That truck ain't done me bad, so I ain't gonna do it bad. I'm gonna get it fixed up.
Done you good so
Plan
far.
on getting fixed. Yeah.
Again with the officiating, we had some. Well, from what Chad told me, we had some pit road controversy. Apparently, the 84 car, the front wheel drive, the one with the hood up. Apparently, he was black flagged for having the hood up. He had to go back down to the pits, put the hood down. They wouldn't allow him back onto the racetrack.
Heard that as well. I heard that. I wasn't affiliated with that. I don't know nothing about that. But yeah, if they can let other extreme chaos happen, then why? That I don't really understand. If they black flag him for having his hood up and it being dangerous to him or others, why would they let everything else go on? Do they care about safety, but only about certain people?
I don't know.
They left me for 10 laps. They left me for 10 laps facing the wrong way on the front stretch with 40 cars on the track. And then they only threw a red flag when a guy flipped over my truck and got hit upside down.
Yep.
But now this guy gets black flagged because he's got his foot up? What does that matter?
Same thing goes to Josh Shaw with you. He was sitting on, not Josh Shaw, Josh DeLong. He was sitting on the, turn 3 facing backwards.
Yep.
And yet no red flag.
Exactly. Now, that's okay to sit in a dangerous situation, but you can't have a hood up?
Exactly.
Weird. Or you have guys driving around there, dragging their tires or dragging their bumper and let them go.
Yeah.
Or you got two people in one car that's all smashed to shit. That's okay. It's just the safety, the quote unquote safety and officiating is just, I don't really, there's no consistency.
Yeah.
I get it. It's the first race of the season, and they're trying to, fill the stands, and they want to put on a good show for the season, and they want to, all this stuff. Okay, but if you are saying that you're trying to be safe and you want this not to be a demolition derby, and we're gonna keep it clean race, and it's only okay for certain people to do certain things, that just doesn't understand. I just don't understand that. When the guys from up there, are allowed to do certain things and other guys aren't, it's just that's a turnoff for out of town guys. Why would they want to come back?
Exactly.
Just so they don't have the same opportunities.
That's one really good thing that's hurting that racetrack as of now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. To get back with the pit road controversy, 84 front wheel drive car put his hood down. They won't allow him to go back out. The race winner, however, gets a flat tire, goes into the pits, changes the tire, gets to go back out. I just don't get that.
Well, actually, as to what I'm being told, I think the M1 is the one they're saying who won it.
M1? I thought it was the 42.
Well, see, the thing is, they keep changing, and so I don't think. I do know Nathan said he's supposed to be posting results tonight. I don't know about what time. I'm on the phone, so I haven't really checked. But yeah, I don't really understand. There's favoritism. Definitely favoritism. Obviously, Derek Moe, the driver of the number 42 car, is the president of Whittemore Speedway. Now, I don't really understand how the president of the Speedway is allowed to race in the races and be favoritized. Now, I can understand him wanting to race. Okay. Now, if you're racing, the rules have to be the same for everybody.
Yep.
If certain people are allowed to do certain things, then that's not fair to other people. Whether you're a millionaire or whether you're, a bum for that matter, if you want to be even and you want everything to be the same, then the rules have to be the same. During a red flag, if you're going to exit the racetrack under a red flag, then you should not be allowed to come back on the racetrack that race. That means you forfeit. That means you give up. You surrendered your place. You're all done for that. If you get black flag, that's different. That means you got kicked off the racetrack and you're not allowed on. Now, if a person exits the racetrack underneath of a red flag, they should not be allowed to be back on. Now, you already established that. Now, if said person is off the racetrack, goes to his pit, people jack his car up, change his tire, now let him back on under red flag. No, you should not be allowed to do that, first of all. Now, enough people caught it and enough people were upset in the pit that, these people are smart, the people that go to the races, they see what's happening, they see what's going on. So, now that the guy, number 42, drove off the racetrack during a red flag, pulled into his pit, they put the jack underneath his car and started jacking him up. Then they were told to stop. So then the race starts back up. So then they continue to change his tire, and he pulls back out there. He exited the racetrack under red. That means he forfeited. What he could have done if he wanted to play by everybody else's rules, wait till green, pull off the track, go get your tire fixed, come back on.
Yep.
Great. I don't think I've been to a track where you can exit under red and be allowed to work on your car and come back out on the racetrack. Furthermore, I don't think even NASCAR lets you do that. If it's a red flag, that means stop, everybody, don't do nothing.
Yeah.
If you go into the pit, that means you're done. That means you're done racing. But, maybe Whittemore Speedway has different rules. I don't know. I've never raced up there other than the one time, and I don't know if I'll be back, to be honest. So.
Still trying to look at the page. There's the of course JD laughed at the Whittemore Speedway post. They couldn't prove the fact that anyone was drinking and driving. I understand that fully.
Yeah, JD laughed at that.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I just don't see myself going back there anytime soon.
What do you personally think? Do you personally think that there was somebody drinking on the racetrack?
I was told that the guy that hit JD, he showed someone a beer bottle that he had in his car, so I honestly can't go off of that. Honestly don't know. But from what everyone's saying, and from what multiple people have been saying, there must have been a drunk driver out there. The Speedway just couldn't prove the fact that there was anyone.
Right.
Unless that they choose not to release on who that was or who that driver was. Maybe they're associated with the track and they're not going to do anything about it. That's a good possibility.
I don't know. The same thing that you just said, I personally didn't see it. I wasn't on the racetrack long enough to see it. I personally didn't see it, so I can't confirm nor deny the fact. But I've heard more people say that than not. I've heard, and it's not even just from the group of guys that we race with. It's from some of the people that are affiliated, not with that track, but that race up there. I've heard a couple of guys from there even say that. So, why would they throw their own people under the bus if there's not truth behind it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I said, I personally can't say it for a fact because I did not see it with my own eyes. But there's some people that I do trust that said it. So there's got to be some sort of truth behind it.
Yeah. Again, I can't say anything. But I've been told, from what I've been told, that's what I'm going to go with. I'm not saying that anyone did do that, just going off of what I've been told. Anyway, any more final thoughts about the race?
I wish that it would have ended differently, but that's just it is what it is.
Yeah. At the end, I was like, I wish this race could have went better than what it had.
It would have ended better as well, but I don't know.
Alright, I guess that's it. From Paul Rigged Up. Thanks for watching. 2 great interviews of the race. Great perspectives on what they went through. Thanks for watching.
All right, thank you.